Hi everyone, welcome to our latest video in the building of the Balsa wood Supermarine Spitfire. Today I've decided to include my attempt at airbrushing the finished plane. I've owned this compressor for at least 2 years, probably longer, never had it out of the box. So this is most definitely not a video for a detailed tutorial. This is showing you that you can just plug them in, mix a bit of paint and get some kind of result. So if you're looking for a detailed tutorial, there are many better and qualified ones out on the net than I've got here. So anyway, as you'll have seen at the beginning, I'm using a Fengda FENGDA FD-186 compressor unit. I don't even know if I pronounced that correctly, but it's that's how it's spelled. I actually then went and bought a Ganston GANZTON airbrush. In addition, it did come with an airbrush, but I thought I'd splash out and I bought a second airbrush, which is a dual action airbrush, i.e. if you push down on the centre button, that lets the air through, and then as you pull back, still holding the button down, the further you pull back, the more paint will be released towards the target. So it's keep the button pressed down and pull back or forward depending how much paint you want to hit the target. So there's several other bits to adjust on the airbrush, but as I said, I'd suggest watching an experienced airbrusher for the get the full lowdown. And then one of the key factors is the consistency of the paint that you're trying to push through your airbrush. Again, it seems to be a bit of trial and error. I initially watered mine down with some distilled water, and a couple of goes, one, it didn't look like there was enough paint getting through, so I added more water. Then it seemed that it was too wet and there wasn't enough colour on the plane, so I added more paint. Anyway, a little bit of trial and error until I got what I thought was a decent consistency, and it did seem to be covering the plane reasonably well. So it was just then a matter of practicing, having a little dabble, trying to hold the plane in the best angle I could to get the camouflage markings. And of course, like with all your equipment, once you've finished, you want to be getting everything cleaned down. The easiest way to do that is empty as much of the paint out of your bowl as you can before filling it with distilled water. You do this in between you're changing your colours as well. And when you actually come to finally clear your airbrush, you want to get one of these cleaning stations where you can set the airbrush up so it just fires all the dirty muck and stuff into a container, which you can then empty out and clean without a mess. So we had the same again with the darker green colour. A little bit of trial and error again with getting the consistency to something like. You know when you've got it starts to flow and cover the plane quite well. I was a little concerned that I might, because I was spraying so much on, that it might not shrink the tissue again to get it back to that nice tight surface, but it did, so my fears were unnecessary. It did actually dry out and went back to where it had been originally, so No, I must admit I enjoyed this. I think my airbrush came with two size needles, a 0.5 and a 0.3. Again, I wasn't sure which would be most suitable, but I thought probably the 0.3. It seemed logical that would be best for fine detailed work, and as I was spraying on a nice meaty camouflage pattern, I thought the 0.5 needle would be in order. So yeah, it's not meant as a tutorial video. As I say, there's some cracking videos out there, but it just shows that with little or no knowledge you can achieve some kind of results. Obviously if you want better results, then like everything else, a bit of practice would be very handy, and watch some of the experts online as well. But it can be done, and then, as I say, good little strip down of the brush when you've finished. Take out the needles and the nozzles, give them all a good clean down. The consensus seems to be that distilled water's adequate, so just don't bash the tip of the needle. Disastrous. So anyway, I thought it'd be a bit of fun. The experts out there will be cringing and laughing in equal measure, no doubt. But us newbies, you can do it. You can achieve something. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to build up my members, and join me next time when we start fitting the finishing details. Till then, take care.